In this video, we are going to be going over the 4 proven marketing systems that will ensure a 25% growth in your cleaning business in the next 12 months. Go ahead and subscribe the channel, and I will be sharing my screen here in a second. And if you want the document, just go ahead and shoot me a DM over at Facebook at ItMaker2, and I'll be more than happy to send this document over to you. So let me go and share my screen. Perfect. So, you are not consistently getting cleaning clients and jobs because you don't have systems in place. How do I know this is true? Because 95% of the cleaning businesses I talk with, they are missing at least 2 out of the 4 critical proven marketing systems that are necessary to grow and get more cleaning jobs. And the clients and businesses who are leveraging all 4, they're growing, and they're growing fast. So unless your situation is completely out of the ordinary, which possibly but unlikely, there is a really big opportunity to accelerate the growth of your business. And the acceleration I'm talking about isn't some short-lived sugar rush kind of growth. It's sustainable and the responsible kind, and the kind that complements your ethical standards and supports your long-term vision for your business. Skeptical? I understand. But as you continue watching, you'll discover that the systems I'm talking about aren't gimmicky, revolutionary, or impossible to implement. They don't require you to turn your business model upside down or become something you're not. In fact, these 4 elements are the foundational building blocks that every successful business must optimize in order to achieve growth that they're looking for. But again, my experience tells me that most businesses are not taking complete or efficient advantage of each of these 4 pieces. Now, I don't care if you listen to a word I say. I'm going to discuss these 4 elements and how they will get you more cleaning jobs. This stuff works. Test it out. If you disagree, I don't care. So, in the last 10 years, there have been a dramatic changes happening in the marketplace. And the competitive landscape for cleaning businesses, local businesses in general, has changed dramatically. And why is this? It's because the continued development and distribution of technology has radically changed the way consumers are buying, how they hear about your products and services, how they research them, and how they make the final purchase decision. So there are 3 main drivers of this change that are impacting your business, and you need to be aware of them, and you need to leverage them. So let's talk about the first one, which is search. According to Google, 97% of consumers search for local businesses online, and the top 10 organic search results get 95% of the clicks. So first, look at the numbers. According to Global Web Index survey, the internet users ages 16 to 64 showed that 81% of consumers, they search for a product or service online, with 90% visiting an online retail site or store in just 1 month's time. So these statistics simply underline what we already knew, that search is king. So everyone who has access to the internet, they use a search engine to find relevant and useful information. And according to Google's own data, that 97% of the consumers, they search for local businesses online. The upshot of these facts is clear that if you want visibility of your business, for your business, you need visibility in the search engines, most importantly, Google. Search isn't just king, it's kingmaker too. So having high visibility in Google can mean more website traffic, more customers, referrals, more sales activity, and more profit for your business. And for those business owners in hyper-competitive markets, search engine visibility can be a difference between being an unknown also-ran and being the top dog. The good, the bad, and the ugly, they're all to see. But visibility is a double-edged sword. So customer reviews of your business are visible too. So what if some of those reviews are negative? What if they're scathing? Well, the bad news is that they can haunt your business for years and have a crushing impact on your bottom line. But on the flip side, good reviews can fuel positive word of mouth and generate referral traffic like you've never seen. So here's what we know about how people use search engines. So after entering in a keyword into Google and being presented with pages and pages of blue text links, consumers, they generally don't dive very deeply into the results. Only 0.78% of Google searches clicked on something from page 2 of the search results. And for page one results, people tend to focus on the top three. According to Backlink, the top three searches results account for approximately 32, 25, and then 19 clicks. Then here's a graph that shows, once we get to the top four, top five, 9%, 6%. So it's not enough to be on Google if you want to take advantage of of the popularity of search. Your website needs to be listed at the top of the page and above the scroll line for the search terms to even be relevant to your business. Now, the second driver, that's social. And small businesses, especially cleaning businesses, they finally started to embrace social media. And according to Status Brew, by the end of last year, 90 million small businesses were using Facebook, benefiting from Facebook service pages like pages, groups, messengers. So we've all heard enough hype about social media to last a lifetime or two, but there's a good reason, because there's actually something to the hype. The social web has truly been a game changer, and the rapid rise of social media is pretty breathtaking. So Facebook seems like old news now, but a presence in our lives that we've taken for granted, but it's worth remembering how recently this shift has taken place. And the thing is that it's not just for the kids. A common misunderstanding that small business has Facebook and other networks are just for the kids, but thus their target market isn't represented on their site. But a recent Pew Center research revealed that in the U.S., users 65 years and older are the fastest growing group on Facebook. Meanwhile, over the past several years, teenagers users have dropped over 20%, which is not surprising. That's when TikTok started getting hot. According to the Digital 2020, Instagram is another commonly used social media platform by adults between 25 to 65. They're making over 63% of the users. Boom. And people that just aren't on social networks, they're freaking glued to them. So the average US Facebook user spends an average of 2 hours and 24 minutes on Facebook every single day. That's crazy. What does that mean? It means that your customers are on Facebook and they spend a lot of time on there. So people, they are taking to the web to share their experiences with brands, and what they're sharing with their friends and family members, it isn't always flattering. So according to Sprout Social, 36% of people have used social media to shame a company for poor customer service, and 30% will go to a competitor if a brand's customer service does not respond to their complaints. And this isn't just happening on Facebook, but sites like Angie's List, Yelp, Google, and others as well. But according to research from Inc.com, 91% of consumers, they read online reviews, and it doesn't take long for potential customers to make up their mind whether to do business with a given company. In fact, 68% form their opinion after reading between 1 and 6 online reviews. So more and more businesses, they're beginning to realize that while they can't control what others say online, they can and should monitor and contribute to the conversation in an effort to influence the overall tenure. So they're realizing that having a proactive online presence that's focused on adding value to the customer experience is a serious way to grow and preserve their brand reputation and protect themselves from the stray musings of a few unhappy souls. So another big reason to get involved in social media is that you have to do it to stay relevant. So your buyers expect it, and if you fall short of their expectations, they'll be more likely to spend their money with the dude down the street. But on the other hand, your response to customers on social media increases that brand loyalty. In fact, according to a survey conducted back in 2017, 86% of the respondents said that they'd be more likely to be loyal to a brand that engaged with them on social media. So once more, when customers receive a timely and positive response to their complaints, 70% say that they're more likely to use that brand's product or service. So that figure has only grown as social media area has matured. So you can either join that conversation or let your competitors do all the talking. It's up to you. So the last one, the biggest one, it's mobile. So according to research conducted by ComScore, and Agent 15 Miles, 78% of local mobile searches results in someone purchasing in store. So, everywhere we go, people are on their phones. So today, 96% of Americans own a mobile phone of some kind. Back in 2016, smartphone and tablets, they outpaced desktop web-top browsing for the first time in history. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But let's talk about your business's site. So if your business's site looks cramped, cluttered, or ineligible when viewed on a tablet, smartphone, you run the risk of turning away your most valuable asset, which is your customers. So let's talk about, in a weak economy, mobile matters even more. Let me put this in perspective for you. The economic recovery isn't a sluggish one. People are still worrying about losing their jobs. Millions of homeowners, they owe their mortgage loans. Credit card debt continues to weigh down the U.S. households. These are all challenging times for consumers. And as a business owner, you don't want to give them any more reason not to buy your product or service. Further, you don't want to add any additional friction to that process of buying your products or service. So having a streamlined website for mobile is a new must-have, particularly when you consider that people with smartphones are still turning to search engines to look for information. Once more, studies have showed that when people use their smartphones to search for information, they're more apt to take immediate action. They search for where they are and go immediately to what they find. And according to a new study, 78% of local searches on mobile devices lead to direct purchase within 24 hours. And of those purchases, 73% were done in a physical store, 16 by phone, and then 11 online. In light of this information, you got to evaluate your business's website. So, what all this means to you. So let's have a show of hands here. How many of you search online before deciding what businesses to buy from? I definitely do. How many of you choose a company based on the recommendations you heard from friends over social media? Sometimes. And then how many of you carry a smartphone with you at all times? Mine's actually charging. I don't have it with me. But it's right over there. So, again, these are all trends that are accelerating. And as much as we might wish that they'd go away and let us continue with the business as usual, the search, social, mobile paradigm is not going anywhere, and it is here to stay. But the important thing now is that to ask the hard questions, seek out the answers, even if they might shake things up a bit. So, how do these changes impact the way consumers interact with my business? How do these changes impact my business's growth? And then how do these changes impact the way that I approach the marketing of my business? So with dramatic change calls for a renewed focus on the fundamentals. So given all these revolutionary changes we've discussed, search, social, and mobile, you might be worried about what you're going to have to do, make a drastic revolutionary changes in your business, but that's not necessarily the case. Our experience shows that there are 4 key marketing systems that need to be optimized in order to maximize growth in today's wild, always on, and hyper-competitive marketplace. The marketing systems we're about to go over, they aren't even new. They're not gimmicks that were cooked up in the ivory tower or by some pie-in-the-sky TED Talk guru. They're proven concepts that have been tested, retested, and tested again in the marketplace. Now, sure, some of these tactics, they have changed, but the strategies themselves haven't. As it so happens to be, these 4 central areas, they all start with the letter R. So they are reputation, resell, reach, and retarget. And these are the 4 things that every business needs to plan for and optimize to maximize their growth potential. And data shows, and my experience proves, that each of these account for about 25% growth on their own, and combined have a compound effect that can really ignite that growth into 100% or more. So let's briefly run through each of these elements, explore how maximizing these 4 R's could significantly impact your business. The first R, reputation. As we discussed earlier, it has never been easier for potential customers to find out what others think about your business. This is both good and bad, depending on what people find. As you know, nowadays, people search online before they buy, and according to Inc.com, 84% of survey respondents, they trust online reviews, even those from complete strangers, as much as a personal recommendation. According to Nielsen's summary of their poll data, recommendations from personal acquaintances and opinions posted by consumers online are the most trusted forms of advertising. So look who's talking about you. Customers, prospects, competitors, business partners, trolls, those keyboard warriors. So this probably isn't anything new to you, and there's a decent chance that, like most of the businesses I talk to, not very pleased with about some of the things that people have written about your business. But this brings up a larger point. Whether it is positive or negative, most of the content about your business that is available online is not even being created by you anymore. So consumers are critics, and publishers now can around their tiny little printing presses in their pockets. So to be sure, businesses have always relied on their reputation, but the stakes are even higher today because of how easy it is for the consumers to find information about local companies before they buy. Once more, as we've already discussed, negative reviews can get lodged in the search results, hanging like an obtruse around your neck and dragging down sales. So, are you Googleable? How many pages of Google are you on? Search, maps, Google citations. So, the second R is resell. Once you've done all that hard and often costly work of getting a customer, you need to be sure that you maximize their lifetime value, or LTV, of that customer. So whatever metaphor you want to use, minding your backyard, picking the low-hanging fruit, the point is the same. It makes more sense both financially and from an efficiency standpoint to fully capitalize on your existing customer base than to be constantly out there hunting for new customers. So the more value that you can generate from each customer, the less you have to spend on marketing, which means you increase your profit margins and or reinvest savings into your products and services in the process of making your business even more attractive to your customers. In practice, this can mean increasing the dollar value of each transaction or increasing the frequency that customers buy, either by offering add-on services, upsells, cross-sells. McDonald's, classic example. You want fries with that? You want to supersize your order? These days, there's just so many cost-effective and trackable ways to bring customers back to your business. To give you just one example, consider an SMS coupon campaign. Text messages have a 209% higher response rate than phone, email, or Facebook, and a 90% SMS and 90% SMS messages are read within 3 minutes. Plus, consumers that can redeem these SMS delivered coupons 10 times more than any other type of coupon. So these campaigns, they have a lot of potential for the price since, you can pay as low as $50 per month, depending on text volume and the number of keywords used. So despite having easy access to new tools, most businesses in our area are leaving money on the table because they're just not maximizing the resale potential of each customer. Now, the third R is reach. It's in my experience that, a business that wants to grow, they need to make sure that more people know about it today than did yesterday. And if you're not meeting people and telling them about your products and services, then you're not developing a pipeline of potentially new customers and are going to see fewer sales in the future as a result. Sounds pretty obvious, I know, but I'm always surprised when I talk with local cleaning businesses about their potential promotional efforts. Now, when I look at the pipeline filling activities of local businesses, I see mostly a scattershot approach. A campaign here, there, with only a vague idea on whether they're getting a positive return on investment. So no wonder why so many businesses think that marketing is skeptical, because they're doing it wrong. Very rarely do I see a coordinated, systematic, Very rarely do I see a coordinated, systematic, and metrics-driven efforts to reach a wider audience and drive more prospects through their front door. But this kind of focused, ongoing, and intentional approach is exactly what's necessary to reach more qualified prospects in a cost-effective, not to mention a satisfying manner. So a once-in-a-while ad marketing strategy is not going to get you the results you need to achieve that constant business growth. The fourth and last R, retarget. So there's an old rule of 7 in marketing that says that consumers need an average of 7 impressions before prospect remembers your business and is likely to take some sort of action. But the rule was created decades ago when we saw an average of 500 ads each day. And that number has increased over 10x now. So safe to say that the rule of seven probably needs to get bumped up as well. Regardless of what that specific number is, we need to stay in front of our prospects. Retargeting allows us to make sure that the prospects that have already demonstrated some degree of interest in doing business with you, they already visited your site or going to continue to see your business over and over again by showing them ads over time. Because these ads are directed at warm prospects, it's the highest form of ROI advertising that you'll ever do. Now, the problem is that most businesses are operating without even being aware of these changes or marketing systems and how they're impacting your business. So let me show you some examples. First, if you aren't effectively and proactively managing your reputation, you aren't aware of comments like this being made about your business. Let's take a second to read a little bit of that. Ouch. That hurts. Comments like these will negatively impact how others view your business in the marketplace. Or you have people looking for your business on their mobile phones and your website is showing up something like this. Old school, baby, right here. No one has the fingers small enough to navigate this webpage. And according to swore.com, 57% of internet users say that they won't recommend a business with a poorly designed mobile website. And 85% of adults expect a company's mobile website to be equal or better than their desktop version. While your competitor's mobile website is showing up like this. People will stay on your competitor's website if it's optimized for a small touchscreen. So how can we address some of these things? Let me show you some ideas. You got to control your reviews. So having what I like to say, a reputation management dashboard that allows you to see all your reviews in one place, allows you to manage your reviews in one place, is something that every local business needs to have in their arsenal. The next one is having a website for your business that is optimized and mobile. Now let's go back up to this. Is this website mobile? Obviously, yes. Is it optimized? Well, it actually isn't. As you can see, it definitely does fit on the mobile screen, but as far as being optimized, there's no call to action. There's no call now button, book now button. And the company's number isn't on the screen. So you want to make everything simple and effective for your potential customers when they land on that page to be able to get in contact with you as soon as possible. And the last one is reach more people with more cost effectively and greater targeting using Facebook ads. Now, most of the businesses that I work with, we don't even use Facebook ads. We go way back and use what I like to call direct mail. So mailers, they are working great. And not the EDDM type of mailers with the postcards. Just get a simple business commercial envelope. Write out a little like email template or just introducing yourself to this business. Print it out and just put it in the envelope. Because you got to think about it from your perspective. At least when I get brochures, different like mailers and ads that are super big and colorful, I put them in one hand, and then the other hand I put all my envelopes in, and the one with the mailers and brochures, they get thrown away. So if I have something addressed to my business name or my name, I'm going to open it, and I'm going to see that mailer or that business card that has your cleaning business on it. Ooh, excuse me. So now, if you fall into this category of businesses that is not proactively working with these technology changes and marketing systems, you're only going to see the worst over time. So these changes, though recent, they're permanent and they're part of this competitive landscape. And the gap between the businesses that get it and those who don't, it's widening at an accelerating pace. So you can look at an industry and see examples, handful of businesses that are really pulling away from the pack and those that are falling behind. So looking at online reviews of restaurants, Harvard Business Review found that a difference of 1 star, just a difference of 1 star in the average rating of an establishment led to a difference in revenue of 5 to 9%. So do you have someone that is helping your business in these areas? Or are you kidding yourself into thinking that you're going to try to do this by yourself or with the very part-time effort of one of your employees that has no marketing background. It's not going to cut it. To paraphrase the wise Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation, you can't half-ass two things. You got to whole-ass one thing. So if you're struggling to fit everything into your calendar already, like most businesses are, you're probably not going to have the bandwidth to optimize these 4 R's. Either something else has to give, or you need to at least enlist a friendly expert to help you. So, just wrapping up the document, like I said in this video, we covered the 4 R's: reputation, resell, reach, and retargeting. And if you want to have this document sent over to you, like I said, just go ahead and shoot me a DM over at Facebook, my Facebook at mbaker.2. More than happy to send this over to you. And if you stayed this far, it means you're pretty serious. So hit me up. I'll send you over this document and we could have a cool little conversation.